Alright guys, hello and welcome back to the next episode of our F1M24 career mode season 4 in 2027. We are 9 days away from Bahrain at the start of our Middle Eastern leg of the season. And we went in and actually fixed the sprint races. So we have one sprint race for the rest of the season. So we have 7 sprint races to go. We have Lusail. We have Qatar, we have Imola, China, just trying to remember which ones, then back to back with Austria. So China, Austria will be back to back sprint races. And then we have Baku, Singapore, Vegas. Yeah, so those are the tracks that we have as sprint races. So 7 races that are sprints. I know they usually keep it to 6, but we're gonna deal with that. That way we have one every episode for the remainder of the season. But we're gonna be doing Bahrain, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia. And I'm honestly, I don't think we've done Jeddah for a while. So we're gonna go ahead and simulate Bahrain and Qatar. I know we haven't done Qatar in a while either, but I'm feeling pretty good about Jeddah since we are technically in the positive now, 419k from that last little bit, and we do have the sponsor plan coming in the next week. So, and we're gonna be short on 1 ATR period, so research begins at the end of the regulation vote. Yeah, we have the regulation vote that we need to do, which we'll actually do that now. So we're gonna go ahead and jump to that here shortly, and we'll see you guys in a second. All right, here we are. Regulation vote, minor technical changes. Let's see what they're gonna be going to. High speed downforce changes and low speed downforce changes. 10, 20s, and 30s. For 1, 2, 3, 4 components each, affecting the front wing, rear wing, underfloor, and suspension. We don't want to do. We can improve in the low speed, so we're gonna vote for high speed and see where that goes. The result for that will be in 1 week, so it'll after Bahrain, and then we'll go from there. So we'll do the result for Bahrain, and then we'll go to that vote result. So see you guys for the results in Bahrain here in a moment. All right, race results for Bahrain. Our drivers are not in the top 10. Fernando Alonso P18, Vesti P13. Alonso dropping a lot of positions here. I don't know what's going on with him. We tried to go into his training and nothing has changed. McLaren really hitting off the start of the season. 135 against Ferrari's 99. Red Bull, Ford dropping down to P3. Honda, Haas, Audi, Sauber, Gulf, Williams, and then us still sitting back in P8. So we have a lot of work ahead of us to do. We did get Vesti into the top 10 for the fastest pit stops, 2.153, and we're still P4 behind Mercedes now. They scored 23 points in that race weekend. No issues. The second pit stops were faster. We lose 136 for Vesti's contracted bonus. There's a lot of clipping going on there for Alonso. And next up we have the more clipping for Jack Doohan. We have the result for regulation, and it looks like everybody voted for high speed. All right. Ourselves, Audi, Porsche, Toyota, Gulf, Williams, and McLaren voted for. And Ferrari, Red Bull, Mercedes, Cadillac, and Honda voted against it. So we were the tiebreaker. pretty much, and we're going to be getting a high-speed downforce change next season, so it's going to be a lot of R&D. So post-race data, we had some failed parts. We already replaced the front wings, but we'll have to go through and see what happens with those. So like before, we'll see you guys for the results of Qatar. All right, here we are for the results of the Qatar sprint. Sergio Perez, Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris. Top 3, Fernando Alonso started in 6th, finished in 6th, and then Frederick Vesti dropped 5 positions, so he would have gotten in the top 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They both would have gotten in the points, but Fernando Alonso first, well, not first points, 3 more points for the team.
Our weekend continues.
Let me go ahead and skip through that. 3 points on the season for the first sprint we have there, and we go into qualifying. So we'll see you guys shortly for the results of the Qatar feature race. All right, here we are for the feature race result in Qatar. Fernando Alonso, P7, started in P8, and then Vesti out of the session, so he didn't get a good finish for this race weekend. He's still on 2 points. Fernando Alonso moving up to P12 in the driver standings for the 9-point gain in this race weekend. That puts us ahead of Gulf Williams, 1 point behind Audi. So we're gonna be, looks like we're gonna be fighting Audi again this season when it comes to that. Fernando Alonso 2.066, and we're not too far away from under the 2-second time frame, and we drop another position against a Red Bull. 45 points. Ferrari and Cadillac are tied behind us at 41. Yeah, he was out early in the race, looks like. And we get our race target for Alonso. No contract bonus for him quite yet. And we had some parts come in, so we got the design for that come in. Underfloor as well. Driver rating decreased, so he is getting older, so that rating is decreasing. I don't know what stat dropped. Yeah. So mentality going down. Affected by a sponsor engagement activity. Alright, so that wasn't his age. Chassis design, underfloor, performance loss. Performance is deteriorating. In the report below, find assessment, performance key areas. Reasons to drop, but it happens to all drivers eventually as they reach the later stages of their career. Continue to support them as best as I can. I'm not sure how much progress we'll be able to make going forward. Best inch. Yeah, so it's age. Cornering stays. Braking, we lost 2. Cornering, we lost 1. Control, we lost 1. We lost 2 in smoothness. Adaptability stayed the same. Overtaking stayed the same. Defending stayed the same. We lost accuracy, braking, control, and smoothness. So we'll go in here and change his driver development. What was it? Accuracy, cornering, control, and smoothness. Cornering, braking, adaptability, smoothness, overtaking, defending reactions. I just said it and I already forgot. We'll just leave it at driving standards and go from there. We gotta replace some car parts. And then this is how we're looking for the race weekend. Yeah, we gotta replace some parts here on car 2. Ooh, missing a rear wing. Missing a side. Yeah, he crashed out. Okay. Powertrain, gearbox. We'll do it after this race. We have 5 gearboxes. But we're still gonna treat it like we only have 4. Underfloor failed. Suspension replace. Yeah, that gearbox got hit from that wreck. Here's our provisional for this next race weekend, which we will be manually doing. So we'll see you guys after practice for qualifying in Saudi Arabia. All right, here we are for the results of practice 3. VSC getting P8 on those mediums, and we're just focusing on track time for Alonso. Running them long for that. 89% for our car part knowledge, 100% on track acclimatization and setups. We had to wait till practice 3 to get those 100% for them. 97%, a little bit more than the last episode. So we get into this race weekend.
Hello and welcome to the much anticipated qualifying session.
There are 3 periods of qualifying ahead of the drivers now. Remember, only the fastest 10 will make it through to Q3 for a shot at pole position.
Here's Fernando Alonso. Big question, how have things been for him heading into this qualifying session?
Neither of the team's drivers have brought home many points so far, so they'll be looking to change that as soon as possible to prove their worth on track.
Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
All right, so we have some new parts on our cars already, and we're hoping to get into the Q3 session. So there was something about doing 2 flying laps, but I don't know how overpowered that is. But it does a number on the battery. I don't want to do that. All right, let's see what our guys can do. Cutoff position 16th. All right, let's get to this. We'll see you guys at the end of this first qualifying session for the results. See who gets in. Right, red flag here at the end of session 1. Sitting P4, P5. Let's see what happened here.
See what happened. Heading down the straight.
Wassa and the Mercedes. Out of the final corner.
But oh, they can't avoid making contact. And that's a tough one to take for both driver and the car.
There is enough time for us to get out on the track. But I don't feel like we need to. We're sitting up P4, P5. With those runs. Few minutes after restart, 5% of rain. Get cloudy. P4, P5. We'll just continue on our same sets. I don't feel like we're in any danger right now. That's 1.5 is the cutoff. 1.626. So we'll just go ahead and sim forward here and see what happens. See how much of a gain the other drivers can get on us, as majority of the field goes out. We're playing it risky here, but this is about one of the only times we'll actually do it, because we're sitting in the top 5 right now. Let the timer go down. Signs in the Haas. P6, P7. Yeah. We are in the Q2. Norris shooting up to the top of the board. Gasly, Lawson, Van Dorn. Gasly, Lawson, Van Dorn, Giovinazzi, Hauger, and Ayuma Iwasa out. Both Mercedes, both Cadillacs. 1 Haas and 1 Porsche. All right. Looking very promising so far this season. Well, this episode. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing for our guys, and we'll see you guys at the end of Q2. See if we can get into Q3. All right, here we are. Final runs. Alonso and VSC are in the chopping block pretty much. Purple sector 1, green sector 2 for Alonso, using the same set of tires. See where he's at here. 125.1 is from Norris. It's gonna be P6. It's gonna be Norris ahead, getting up pole position. Look at VSC trying to get into the top 10. 2 green sectors. He's also using an old set of softs from the beginning of this session. Looking really good on tire life, trying to save an extra set of soft tires for the main race. See where he ends up. It's gonna be VSC in a P7 as well. So as long as Sainz, Tsunoda, and Russell and Zhou don't improve, it's gonna be the Haas. Sainz is up next. Let's see where they end up across the line. No improvement. Zhou coming up next. Who's that went into the pits? Somebody went into the pits. Zhou into the top 10 maybe? No, P13. Russell coming up next, and then Tsunoda will be the last to try. They're the last two. They're not going to knock us out, but they have a chance in getting into the top 10. Russell is next. You're going to be coming into the pits. Tsunoda's going to be the last one across the line. I don't know if he's on a hot lap or not. Doesn't look like it. And they're going to be coming in as well. All right, we'll see you guys in Q3. All right, final runs for our drivers. New sets of tires. Still 230 left to go. Alonso coming in. Yellow sector 1, green sector 2. So improvement there in sector 2. Messi still on his flying lap.
Just for reference, you're currently P6.
P6 for Alonso. Vesti is just starting. No improvement there in sector 1. We do have extra sets of tires. If he gets the yellow sector 2, we're calling him in. So we'll go ahead. We're already coming in. It's not going to be a green sector 2. Hopefully an improvement. Just got Norris in front in position and Elcon in 10th. But everybody else is still on their outlap. We went out a little bit early. Yeah, that's way off the pace. But that is a personal improvement.
And that's currently P9.
And that's basically going to be it for our guys. We sent them out on new tires. The new tires are actually about a 10th or 2 slower. So we'll have to see what happens with the other drivers. See if we get knocked back. No improvement from Ocon. Improvement from Verstappen. So P8, P9 start for the main race here. Pretty good start in this episode, in this early part of the season with those new car parts. Let's get to this race.
The drivers are getting ready here at the Jeddah Corniche circuit, preparing for 50 flat-out laps under the lights.
Jeddah street circuit certainly makes the high speeds of F1 racing a thrilling affair. But even a world champion can be caught out in between the narrow walls, just as Max Verstappen found out in 2021.
The Jeddah street circuit has one of the fastest average speeds, as well as the most corners of any track on the calendar. Good high-speed downforce is going to make life in the fast lane a little easier for drivers here this weekend. Tension continues to build here as race day begins. Well, it's great to have you with us, folks, as we settle in for the weekend's Grand Prix action. And Alex Albon will know just what kind of drive will be expected of him here.
Starting 5th is great for them. If they play the race right, there's a real chance to score a good result today.
And it'll be exciting to see just what will happen here today. We're now moments away from this. the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
All right, race number 6 on the calendar, and we are
Lights
within the
out,
top 10
and away
start.
we go.
All right. It's only a one-stop race, so we're not going to go for the curb.
Pace.
We're in a really good position for points this race. We're short lap. We shorted ourselves 4 laps of fuel, which I feel like we can really capitalize on. Just need to make sure our guys aren't fighting each other within these first few laps. Alonso ahead of VSC. Gasly fighting ahead of Perez, as we are swapping our drivers' pit stops. So where everybody else is on. Verstappen going for a bold, hard to soft. And Albon on mediums, Alonso on mediums, Giovinazzi on mediums. Everybody else on soft tires. So, already 1 second gap between Alonso and Leclerc. Going pretty good about where they're at right now, as the grid starts to separate between the top 7. That's another thing. Sargent in the Red Bull didn't do great in practice. He's up there in P6. I don't know if he has any. Does he have any points already? He does. He has 37 points in that Red Bull.
You are currently
That is something. That is crazy. Coming back after a season of not racing.
Leclerc.
We had him earlier in the series. And he's racing for Red Bull. Alright. We're in. We're locked in. See what our guys can do. We'll run it till they run out of battery. And go from there. So we'll see you guys in a moment.
VSC. Stay as close as you
Let's
can.
have a look at that. It was George Russell involved. And ends up
I had my
making
microphone
contact with
muted
the
there.
barrier. But no matter
Virtual
the
safety
severity
car.
of the crash, it's always good to see the driver emerge unharmed.
George Russell and Awasa. What's the contact? See who gets the fault there. Russell retired from the race. Stroll back in P21 in the other Williams. We're under virtual safety car, so we'll harvest
Charge on.
and conserve.
We look after the tires.
Alonso P5, Vessi P9. Be nice to see Alonso on the podium with our uniform. I don't know if Awasa was involved. He's in the Mercedes. That was an Audi that
We have
Albon
Russell off.
on the podium, provisional podium there. All right, we're gonna go ahead and send forward to the
Follow the line of the car in front as much as you can to avoid the
end of this virtual safety car. What lap is it? Can you tell me, please? Lap 5 of 50. 5 laps in. Virtual safety car Russell is out.
20 P9. Our next car ahead is Leclerc.
VSC ending. Copy.
All right, you guys heard it. Green flag.
DRS is enabled.
Everything is back to normal. We put ourselves on deploy.
Okay to push harder through 6 and 7 if you can.
SD is good up.
Virtual safety car.
He's still P9.
Stay close to the
Alonso,
levels.
he's good up in P5. We don't have to really pay him attention.
Overtake available.
And Dorn crashed turn 11. Oh.
Now let's take a look here at turn 10. Within a split second, the impact's made. And they'll definitely be facing a few questions from the team after that.
All right,
The
back-to-back
team
virtual
glued to the
safety car.
monitors and watching their hopes crumble away.
Let's go ahead and harvest and conserve again.
You should be mode charge.
Yes, yep.
Van Dorn and Russell
Stop the
out
pace now, please.
of this race early on. Perez still holding on to that fastest lap. All right, let's fast forward again. See if we can actually get this race underway again. All right, there we go.
Copy.
I don't know where we're at for our tire life after that. Double virtual safety car.
Warm up your tires.
Green flag. Race underway.
DRS is enabled.
We're already cut down on half of our fuel, so we'll go balanced this early into the
Suggest that
race.
You can reduce the amount of lift and coast at turn 1.
Okay, copy.
Do I have him set on? Yes, I do. Still looking for that lap 20 pit stop for Vesti.
Confirmed, we're happy with the tires.
Yep, copy that.
Albon back in P4, but ahead of Alonso. Verstappen onto the another yellow flag. Joe lock up in
Let's
turn
take a look
12.
at the replay. Here we are then reaching turn 13. Very heavy on the brakes. Just unable to control the car by that point.
Not enough for a virtual safety car, so we're good there. Unfortunate for that. Almost had another close call. Triple virtual safety car would have been something else.
Keep looking after your tires.
I want to
Keep
see what
looking
this
after your
tire
tires,
life looks
which
like
is
after
very
this lap, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, we're gonna go ahead and sim forward, see what happens. We'll see you guys in a moment. All right, here we are. Start of the pit stops. See Albon and Hamilton coming in. Alonso provisional, well, not provisional P1. He's up in P1 right now. Vesti's up in P3. So we are fighting for
Nice job.
podium spots this race. Their overtake, we're not going to do the replay. Plenty of overtakes so far this race.
And what's that?
Hamilton had a pit stop issue, so he's going to lose positions more than likely. We're coming up on Vesti's pit stop. We ran him on aggressive for a little bit to kind of balance out that tire life. You don't really have to worry about that with Alonso. He's still running pretty good on his mediums to make him keep him up till lap 30. Leclerc has a car issue. Wassa, and I don't believe Perez does either. So we are running pretty good.
Okay, Doris has got TRS now.
It's basically back and forth with positions within the top 5. You can see it's actually the top 6, minus the 2 that just pit, because Leclerc is 5.1 seconds back now, and the gap is increasing between those teammates. So we're gonna wait and see who else goes in on this lap. Looks like the McLaren's gonna be going in, maybe.
Ridiculous.
Nope. Piastri overtakes
No worries.
Alonso for the lead. Vesti P3. And that battle's right in front of us. So, we're gonna go ahead and sim forward to Vesti's pit stop. See you guys shortly.
Safety car, safety car.
Oh,
Charge on.
okay. Alright, we have a safety car. What happened here?
Yes.
Red flag. Okay, free
Do whatever
pit
you
stop.
need for tyres.
That's Dennis Hauger out in the
Red
other
flag.
in the Mercedes. Oasa was having car issues. See what happened. That's the corner coming through sector 2 at the very end of the track, smashing into the wall and then just blocking traffic. So 2 virtual safety cars, 1 red flag, starting in the 1st and 3rd. It really helps us out here. Can we run? We can't run the softs to the end of the race. We can't run that many laps on the soft tires. So we're gonna run hards for Alonso. Because I know they can make it to the end of the race. Because I know 30 lap mediums is perfectly fine. So we're going to run hards. And then we can make the mediums because he was going to pit. Alright, and we'll make the mediums for Vesti. So, it's just a matter of Alonso defending on those hard tires. Verstappen's gonna have to go to mediums, I know it.
All drivers have taken their positions again. Once more, they're ready to race.
Right, red flag restart here in
It's
Saudi
lights
Arabia.
out, and away we go.
Deploy. Deploy.
Mode push, please. Mode push.
And we'll go aggressive on those hard tires.
We're okay to push a bit harder.
Everybody's running on mediums.
Overtake available.
All
Overtake
right.
available.
Okay, copy.
Still getting over my cough. A little bit of congestion still.
We just keep the head down on way to as best as we can, okay?
All right.
We have a Ferrari.
It would be
behind us.
nice to see the cinematic with Alonso. I think Vessi will go through too, but I don't know. We'll see. Our fight turned into McLaren instead of Audi, at least for this race. For short term, red flag from Dennis Hauger in the Mercedes really helped us out. Mercedes, maybe it's just this one instance, but I know they were looking to improve for this season. And we're not even halfway through this race, so it is a high-tech GP and McLaren fight. Red Bull powertrain versus Ferrari. They're using a Ferrari engine still. And Mercedes are the only ones who are using the Mercedes engine on this track, or on this grid. So, all right, we will go ahead and sim forward a few laps and see what happens here.
DRS is enabled.
As we look at Verstappen trying to make a move on Vesti. He's going to get that move easily. As Alonso is fighting to defend against the two McLarens. So we have a long fight ahead of us here in Saudi Arabia. We'll see you guys
Doing a great job.
in a moment. All right, another yellow flag,
And
sector
keep an eye on debris
2.
again. Keep an eye on debris.
Sonoda
And
Lawson.
yep, it's the Haas that's affected there. Now with the Haas. Barely any room to maneuver.
That's sector 1.
And not just one car
Okay, that's
involved
gonna be
in
the
that,
Porsche's
as you can
fault.
see. The teams will no doubt be very keen to establish
see about
the
that.
full extent of the damage.
We will see what the penalty is going to look like. No safety car.
And not much that the team can do about that one.
Yeah, they're not going to be happy about that. We were looking at the tire life for Alonso. He's still fighting the McLarens.
Yeah,
Shortly
I don't have
after.
that pace.
We're halfway point. We're at the halfway point. We got plenty of fuel still.
Yuki got a penalty.
Noda with that time penalty from that. We're gonna go ahead and push on our fuel. We'll
Tire
go at
point of
about
view, we don't
maybe
think
3
lifting gears is
kilograms.
necessary.
Go from there.
Let's lift off, please.
All right, we'll see you guys in a moment.
Okay, copy.
All right, 15 laps to go. Perez is currently in the lead. Alonso, Vesti, P2, P3. We're running aggressive on these hard tires, and he looks like he's going to make it to the end of the race on those. And then the medium tires are running quite well. We dropped down to 2.5 kilogram because I didn't want to risk having too little fuel.
Door is behind you.
So we'll actually conserve and see if that'll help us there at the end.
Head back
Because
down
they
to
haven't,
withstand the
I know
return.
last episode they gave us a warning. It was like, hey, we need to conserve the rest of the way
Need to
or
do
we're not
more
going to have
than
enough fuel to
because
finish
these
this
increased
race.
by 10%.
So we're going to play that card this time around and hope for a double podium at this point. But we have the McLaren of Lando Norris right behind us.
Slowest car on the straight.
So,
Remember, long way to go in this race.
all right, 15 laps to go. We'll see you guys towards the end.
Battery, and then you'll just be taken by everybody.
Safety car, safety car, safety car.
Safety car.
10 laps to go. Awasa crash, turn 17.
Let's follow the drivers then through turn 16. Oh, and a Fairly substantial crash there.
Spin there, sector
Thankfully, though,
2.
they come away from that
A hard
unharmed.
right-hander. Drop about 3 gears. All right. 2 virtual safety cars, 1 red flag, 1 safety car. Our guys are next to each other, so we're not going to be able to pit. Snowd's in the pit. Awasa Lawson out.
It's a big one.
See, okay?
Porsche is still in this race. We're going to go ahead.
For debris. Charge on.
I was worried that we're going to have too little fuel,
We can consider a little bit of anti-deploy.
but we're going to go ahead and conserve on the tires. We're not going to pit. It just depends on what everybody else does around us. See if Norris goes in, or if he stays out. Piastri sacrifices his race. Everybody else behind us is going into the pits. Piastri, Stroll, Sargent, Sainz, Hamilton going in.
And behind you is Alonso.
Leclerc,
9 laps to go, 9 more laps.
9 laps to go. It'll be like a 7 or 6 lap race here at the end. Everybody else is going to be on softs. I know it. Yeah, they're all going on softs. We still have the fastest lap point. But we have Norris, Perez, Vesti, Alonso. Alonso's at a big disadvantage on those hard tires. But we did not want to sacrifice that. So we'll see you guys at the end of the safety car for the restart. Towards the end of this race.
Take car in the next lap.
All right, safety car in.
Ready?
Hamilton retired under the safety car. Plenty of fuel.
So let's have mode push now, please.
Yes.
We'll go aggressive. Nope, standard.
Pace back up.
Push, deploy.
Take it easy.
All right. Green flag underway. We're waiting for Lando Norris on this safety car restart. A hell of an episode here in Saudi Arabia.
Racing from the line.
For this early in the season, episode 2. Our drivers nearly side by side on the restart. Alonso looking to make a move on Vesti, not
6
quite.
more laps.
Yeah, copy that.
These hard tires can make it to the end. 5 laps to go. I feel like he should be able to. Norris starting to... No, he's not
Behind
really
us for
pulling
Stappen
away.
now. He's 0.5 behind. There's progress to be made.
I forget, who's farther down in the order for the championship? No, they're going to be next to each other. They're next to each other right now. We could go with either of them. Well, that's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to be at this result. So we want Vesti ahead of Alonso. All right. Yeah, so Hamilton and Lawson, Hauger, Van Dorn, and Russell out. Both Mercedes. Sonoda with a car issue. Hamilton retired under the safety car. We might leave Alonso to defend against Verstappen, but we'll wait and see here what our tires are looking like.
Behind is Verstappen.
Norris trying to pull away, but Perez is not having anything to do with that.
Just
See
do
what
your
happens
best.
here on the turn 1. Piastri trying to go side by side with Ocon in the background. As
DRS
Stroll is making a move on
enabled.
Leclerc with that engine issue. All right.
5 more laps.
Lonzo
5 more
move
laps.
on the inside of Vesti through turn 1 and 2. So they flip-flopped. That was not team orders. That is purely racing. As Perez is starting to lose ground on Norris. We'll see what happens here in Sector 2.
So next car, Perez. No worries, mate.
In this next section where we have DRS. All right, let's see here. We're still pushing on fuel. Vesti already 1.3 back behind Alonso, so he's gonna have to defend against Verstappen. We'll have to wait and see. He's really pushing those hard tires. Three-way fight into the final corner. Side by side, the Red Bull Perez going for the lead.
Verstappen 1.2 seconds behind. Verstappen 2 seconds behind.
We are
you.
out of battery now.
Okay, let's get on it. Still everything to play for.
All right. Verstappen makes an overtake on Vesti. Alonso fighting for the podium.
Copy.
1.7 is the gap between the top three in P4.
Copy.
All right, we'll go ahead and sim forward to the
4
final lap.
laps remaining, including this one.
All right, here we are, final lap. Alonso in the lead. Vesti all the way back to P8. Having a powertrain issue.
Good job, mate.
It's going to be the gearbox from the last race. So we're going to go ahead and push for both of our
Let's try
guys.
to get in.
Okay, so let's
Get
push as
Alonso
much as we
that
can from this
win.
point.
And try to get Vesti back up in the points against Piastri. On this final lap. Feeling really good about it.
Very happy with your tyre use.
Very good job. Ocon in front of you.
Right. 8/10 is the gap. Vesti makes a move on Piastri. Still has 13% battery. Coming through. They have DRS. He's catching up. He's got Perez to deal with.
He does have DRS on you.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
It's gonna be a photo finish here. Well, Alonso's gonna pull it off. Race win here in Saudi Arabia.
Yes, guys.
All right.
Enjoy the show.
Vesti finishing ahead of
Absolutely
Piastri.
brilliant.
The P1, P7 finish for our guys today.
Yeah, I'm happy for you guys.
All right.
And Fernando Alonso comes home first.
It's our thumbnail right there.
What an amazing finish to a thrilling race. It's a real testament to their skill and the team's engineering.
I've been trying to mute as much as possible when I'm coughing, so I apologize if I do miss them. All right, great finish for us today.
As always, there will be lots to talk about after that race, including the performance from the driver currently on our screens.
7th place at the end of that one, and some points for the team.
And that man up there is certainly no stranger to an F1 podium. Always great to see Fernando in the top 3.
And that's win number 1 of the season, and it's sure to provide them with a real confidence boost.
And finally now, the drivers can relax after an eventful weekend at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
I just wish those guidelines or whatever those are
How do you
aren't
think they'll be
there.
feeling in the team garage at
I
the
just
end
wish
of
it was
that?
solid. I don't know if there's any mods to be able to fix that.
Absolutely delighted to have picked up the win here. What a great outcome that is for the team.
Okay then, and a big thank you to everyone for joining us this weekend here in Jeddah.
Formula One has almost reached its conclusion this year. Meet us next time in Abu Dhabi, between the desert and the sea, for an enthralling
Yeah, there's the
finale.
mix-up in the order. We're still early in the season. Fernando Alonso P1, Frederick Vesti P7, for a total of 31 points in the race weekend. That's just not going to Lando Norris. Fernando Alonso bumps up to P7 in the driver standings. Vesti up to P14. Still 5 drivers to not score so far this season. We bump up to P5 ahead of Haas and Williams, leaving Audi back into P8. At our 43 points, now our fight is going to be with Aston Martin Honda. They had a decent race, but we have 1 win, 1 podium so far on the board for us, as the lead falls under McLaren, Ferrari, falling behind, fighting Red Bull. Pit stops. We didn't get the top 10 pit stops. We're down to P6. because of the red flag. And they both got their race bonus for us. All right. Very good outcome in today's episode. Manufacturing extra parts here, as we are in debt yet again to get those parts in for the race. We did fall behind on research, so hopefully those parts will do us good for at least the next episode. We'll see if we can get some more money by the next episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed. So see you guys in the next one.